Hey, and welcome to the first episode of a new videocast series where I, Chris Clemens, try to take political events and issues and break them down in 5 minutes or less. So if you guys recall, I did a video the other day involving the new FISA reauthorization, and I discussed at length why it is so worrisome. Now, I'm going to go on ahead and try and go back through that topic and give you the main points as to why you should be concerned with this particular reauthorization, because it's not just a reauthorization, it's an expansion. To start, let's talk about the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment reads, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." Basically, the founders understood a very simple fact. Human beings are imperfect. We have a lot of different personal flaws, and we cannot trust individuals with large amounts of power. So they were very, very, very specific in what powers the federal government had. Basically, you first need to establish probable cause, have actual real evidence to suggest somebody has done something heinous. Then, once you have done that, you have to specify what you're looking for, where you're going to look for it, and why you're looking for it. The FISA amendments, which were passed in 1978, basically gave a workaround the Fourth Amendment for our security apparatus, and the original intent was essentially to allow them to look for spies when they didn't have information to suggest that those people were actually spies. So basically, a new court was set up, a fake court, where the security apparatus could go, present very little information, and then get a warrant. Basically a rubber stamp. Why do I say it's a rubber stamp? Because in the 30 years that it's existed, 33,000 of these warrants have been issued, only 12 have been rejected. That's a 0.03% rejection rate. Basically, this is a rubber stamp that gives the security apparatus the right to violate your Fourth Amendment rights. Now, up until recently, it wasn't necessarily so scary because the scope of what they were looking for was terrorism or national security issues. However, with the new reauthorization, this expands the reasons why they can go through and search all of your stuff. That's both your home, your office, and anything they've been able to intercept digitally. And remember, they're storing everything you've ever done on the internet ever in data centers which are in Utah and other places around the country. And we know this because of people like Edward Snowden and the other whistleblowers who have come out in the last 2 decades or so. Now, this new FISA amendment essentially allows the federal government to search anything they want and look for any type of crime they want and the information that they find if you have been involved in something that involves severe bodily injury, death, kidnapping, offense against a minor, damaging critical infrastructure, damaging anything that's security, public health, or economic related, computer related crimes. That could be streaming the KU basketball game from ESPN illegally. That could be downloading pirated music or movies. International crimes that you've committed across borders. So things like drug trafficking and things of that nature. Well, if you do any of these things, the federal government can now go through literally everything you own, and they really don't have to obtain a warrant, because we're going to basically say that these FISA warrants are not real warrants. The real upsetting part about this, beyond the wider scope, is that all that has to happen is Jeff Sessions has to say, literally verbally say, that the individual that they're going to search the effects of has or meets one of these criteria. And Jeff Sessions' word is final, meaning there is absolutely no judicial review. Basically, there's no transparency to this entire process. And the reason this is so worrisome, folks, is multifaceted. But the main one that I want you to focus on has to do with destabilizing our democratic republic, silencing public opposition or political opposition. Think about the things that have come out about JFK or about Martin Luther King. Things that have come out in recent years about their preferences in women and things of that nature. Imagine if that had come out during their big political movements, and what would have happened to their political movements had that information been used against them. Big difference or big changes in history have happened because those things were not made public. Well, now the federal government has the ability to easily blackmail individuals. And while that might not necessarily scare you, I want you to think about how polarized we have become as a country in recent years. Basically, the pendulum swings from the right to the left and back to the right and back to the left. We no longer govern in the middle. And we have become so polarized, and there is so much vitriol between both political parties that we are using things like the FBI to attack our political opponents. Now imagine the FBI having all of this information at their fingertips at the word of Jeff Sessions. This is a very, very, very worrisome development, and it's a very massive expansion of enforcement power, essentially. The government has usurped a large amount of power, and it's something that should worry all of us. So, with that, I hope I've kind of broke this down to the most fine points, and I will see you guys next time.